Okay, gentlemen, you are live.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome everybody to the workshop of the County Commissioners meeting. As usual, we're going to stand with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, look out. Ice cream.
Right on. Okay, first off, we have the San Juan Basin Area Agency on Aging. Ladies, would you like to step forward to the mic? And
You could actually
turn that
sit.
on, and you do have to pull it relatively close to your mouth to be heard.
I probably won't have to.
No, probably Sue won't have to.
May I approach you and give you my card?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm in court.
What this used to be.
Bailiff.
Yeah, there's a bailiff's over there.
I've been the Area Agency and Aging Director for 12 years this month. And I worked with Sue Fletcher when she was a provider. I'll get in front of the mic. So, again, my name is Christina Knoell. I'm the Director of the Area Agency on Aging. And Sue Fletcher, do you all know her? Is there an introduction?
No, I've never seen her before in my life.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to introduce yourself to me, ma'am.
Sue Fletcher. So Sue sits on my governing board. So I have a governing board which consists of 5 county commissioners and community members that have an interest in aging services and the services that we provide. So our little, it's a nonprofit, it's a 501c3. It was formed under the Great Society, the Older Americans Act. Great Society, out of the Great Society movement under LBJ came the Older Americans Act. So it's been around since the late 60s. So my agency serves Archuleta, La Plata, Montezuma, San Juan, and Dolores counties. And so we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we're doing a lot with our bylaws where we're trying to get more involvement with county commissioners. But the problem that we're seeing is that we don't have a full quorum of county commissioners. I only have about 3 that come to my meetings. So I don't know whose idea it was, but I was asked to come to a work session here in Montezuma County and in San Juan County. So I have here in front of me just give you an idea of how much money we give to John Parker at the senior services. So we have a great relationship with John. So
Can I stop you right there?
Sure.
Because I was looking at our list that we post our positions every year. At the beginning of the year, the 3 commissioners split all of the different committees that we are on. So my ask, looking at this, is that your meetings start at 1300, correct?
Correct.
So
6 times a year.
6
Right.
times a year, so every other month.
Yep.
So is there any possibility that we can move that to 1500 hours?
That's
3
something
o'clock.
I'd have to bring back to the board.
So can you bring that back to the board? Because right now it would make it obviously better for us as a commission if we can get that moved back to 3 o'clock.
3
instead of
o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Okay.
Why is that, though?
It's just because of the day of
Yeah.
business for us.
I'm the designated commissioner for that, and I can't get to a meeting at 1 o'clock.
So it's just, and it may not be accommodatable, it's just an
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah, you're gonna,
Yeah.
you've got 4 other counties that we're gonna have to ask.
So all
I
3 of
understand.
Just an
you,
ask
like,
from
It's just an ask.
so just a question here, if Kent can't make it at 1, the other 2, you can't make it either, so.
No,
It's
no,
not just a
because
conflict with
We were
Kent.
discussing that, so we have alternates for every position.
Okay.
And,
So let me ask you, how was Keenan able to join us consistently for the last 4?
Keenan's
I
retired.
can't.
Yeah, I know, but he was always involved. He
Yeah.
came to every meeting with no conflict.
I work.
And then before him was Larry Rule.
Yeah. Larry's retired.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I thought there was a Board of County Commission meeting conflict. So, because if you're not available, the two of you aren't available either, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
So, my workload, as far as my meetings, it's going to be difficult. I will figure it out if I have to. It's an ask.
Okay. And I'm willing
So
to
if
take
we
it back.
can-
I'm just trying to
We
understand.
split the workload between the three of us, try to get it as equal as possible.
Yeah, I understand.
When are your
Otherwise, it
meetings?
doesn't get lopsided.
So the
1
next
o'clock.
meeting is going to be the first Wednesday in January at 1 o'clock.
It's every other month.
So it's January, March, and so
Wednesdays
forth.
are gonna be tough for
Wednesdays
you.
are really tough for me because I'm mandated to be at the Cortez Sale Barn by law every Wednesday.
So what, let me
Unless
ask you the
it-
next question. What are
unless it
your
falls on a
days?
day
How
that-
long, how long are they?
Go ahead.
How long typically do your meetings last?
About an hour and a half.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know
so
what?
typical meeting.
What we've done since the virtual meeting, we really don't like to be on the call more than an hour. It's fatiguing, as you all know. It's very, it zaps your energy. And then at 3 o'clock, I mean, the energy level is even, but I'm going to ask. I'm going to bring back that, and I'm going to ask the board. You know, we're rewriting our bylaws, and so if it's something where maybe we meet later, or maybe we meet on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. I mean, that's something we could consider as well.
What day are your commission meetings now?
We meet,
Tuesday?
we meet
Mondays
Mondays
and
and
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays,
Monday and Tuesday.
just like today is Monday. Our work sessions are Mondays. So all of our presentations, everything that comes to us are done on Mondays, and then Tuesdays are the business meetings where we make all of our decisions.
Okay.
Oh, that's good that you changed it like that.
So
And
we have,
Thursdays I
we
can,
miss no
For
days,
less time meeting, huh? than-
we miss no days of work.
So, or Thursdays is a day maybe somebody could do it?
Thursday would work better for me if I,
That'd be good.
So I'll go back and ask about the time and the dates, and I, you know, there is flexibility, but it just has to work for everybody. And you're welcome to reach out to any of the other county commissioners. Julie Keibel, she's been on our board for a long time.
Who has?
Julie Keibel, she's the Dolores County Commissioner, and I know she's not missed she's missed a few, so it might be a good time to ask the group about conflicts and see if it remedies some of these
Do you know
others.
when the Dolores County Commissioners, when they meet?
I think it's Mondays.
I think it's
Yeah.
Mondays.
I don't know
it
about
might be every
Archuleta
other
and
Monday too.
La Plata.
It's Monday mornings for sure, because I've presented to him a few
I think
times.
it is. So I didn't mean to get way off the track there. I
No,
just-
you
but as
all
you were
knew what I was
saying it,
coming to speak to you about, so it saves us a lot of time.
We're just trying to resolve a situation. We want a commissioner there, but it's
Good.
depending on the schedules and the workload of all of us. I would like to just say, yes, I could take on one more, but
No, I
I'm
understand.
not sure that I could really do that
Um,
effectively.
Well, it's a very exciting agency. We're doing a lot of exciting things. I've worked very well with John Parker. I've worked very well with the Farmers Market Coordinator here. We've taken a lot of our Family First and our CARES Act money and our just all those funds, and we've opened up new programs, grocery store, delivery services, farmers market vouchers. There's a greenhouse project I want to target with the Mountain Utes and the Southern Utes. And it's a project with a company called Growing Spaces in Pagosa Springs. And I introduced the idea to my RAC board, my advisory board, and I wanted to open it up to senior center directors. And so far I have a couple interested. And because John is on county property, the building belongs to the county, it doesn't belong to the senior services. That's what he explained to me, and that's what I've always understood. I would love to have a grow dome tied to the senior center, and so that's something, having you involved with the board and in committee meetings with me, I will be able to have one-on-one discussions on how to make this work. So it's almost like a farm-to-table thing for older adults. And so what would that look like? So that's an American Rescue. I have about $703,000 I'm going to get from American Rescue, and I do not want to leave this county out. I want this county to get every opportunity that all the other counties get. La Plata County gets a lot, I'll tell you. You're the second biggest county. And I'm attached to every county. I like Dolores County just as much as I like La Plata. I happen to live in Archuleta County, and I give them a harder time because I live there. But, they deserve, equitable distribution of funds and services. And so I'm committed to that, and I would love to partner with one of you or all of you. So that's just kind of my say for the moment. Couldn't be happier with John, couldn't be happier with Jennifer. I work with her with transportation. She's great. I think you guys have great staff. So I guess that you have good leadership. You're picking good people to run these very important programs. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, not really until we find out if we're gonna have somebody on the board.
Well, yep, I mean, our next meeting's in January. I can reach out to the chairperson and the committee. Ronnie Mays is on that committee. He's another county commissioner, so I'll reach out to them to see what they think, but it has to go to a vote in January.
Sure, and I understand that.
Yeah.
It's just a request.
Yeah, I'm happy to
At this point in time.
execute that.
So you do communicate, or do you get email?
Yeah.
Okay.
They send-
I email Kent a lot, and Kent, you have emailed me back saying, oh, I'm going to log in late, or I can't make it.
Yeah.
He has been, you've given me some feedback, but the last couple of meetings, I don't think I've gotten anything, but in the beginning, after you were reelected, he did reach out. So it's just good to have you guys at our meetings. It makes, it represents the 5-county region,
Do you
so.
meet in person, or?
Nope, we do
do
Zoom
Zoom.
right now.
Zoom, so.
And we'll probably do Zoom until the pandemic, I guess, gets managed. Our numbers are high across the region. I mean, they're across the state. You all are following that. So, I do have staff that are concerned about meeting in person, and I do have older adults on different boards that are concerned about meeting in person. So we're going to keep it virtual until further notice.
Okay.
And you do know that if it wasn't for the Area Agency on Aging, you wouldn't have any senior services. You would not have MoCo public transportation.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's very important that, we need somebody from the commission.
Well, if we can
board
get
to
it
do
on a Thursday, I can probably make it.
Oh, that's
Easy.
I'll
wonderful.
push real hard. They just made me the chair, so let me see.
Yeah,
what I
she's
can
the
do.
Well,
chairperson.
It might be easier just to move the time. I mean, we're
Move
not
the
trying to
time, yeah.
disrupt the whole fruit basket.
Thing
We're
of it
just,
is 3:00 in the afternoon. Most people are ready to be done by 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's a tough
and they're
one.
not- yeah, it's,
what is your workday?
well, we're talking about volunteers.
We're-
that are on
Not
board.
staff.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just- Okay.
But we'll have a discussion about it. You're here to hear it, and then you can lead the discussion in January. And
Okay.
so, Thursday, would 1 o'clock work for you? Okay, so Thursday, 1 o'clock. Wednesdays are busy for me too. I
can't
actually,
do it on a Wednesday.
I would
Yeah.
be open to a Thursday meeting, but that's me. It's not my decision. I work for the board, so it's not my decision at all. I will have to make adjustments regardless.
So right now, they're every other
Month.
month on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
Yep,
Even 2 o'clock, I might be
virtually.
a tad late, but 3 would be better.
Now, can you all swap? Like, if you're taking on the area agency and aging, can you swap? Or is that just an additional meeting workload that you're just going to take on?
They'll just be an additional.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your consideration. I appreciate you talking with us. I don't have anything else unless you have any other questions for me.
Appreciate your patience.
I don't at this point in time. Thank you guys for what you do, and then we'll figure it out between our schedules what works the best, and then to see which way works better for you, the time or the day.
Okay, so we'll follow up with you. One or both of us will follow up with you. Thank you very much. Nice
Thank
to
you,
meet you
ladies.
in person.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Joel.
Same to you, ma'am.
Keep up the good work, Sue.
Huh?
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, okay.
You guys able to hear me now?
Oh, man.
Yes.
Oh, look out.
Yes. We got
Perfect.
you now, Ian. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yep. So.
All right, great.
What's that strange music you're listening to?
No music on this end.
That's what I'd say.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't own up to that either.
All right, well, let's see, our surveyor has, he's not gonna be able to make it in, so Matt and Clarissa, would you guys like to come on down?
Commissioners, thank you so much for accommodating my schedule. I really appreciate that.
bet.
We'll be in court, most of the day tomorrow, so thank you.
So, where are they with the court system? They're obviously still all virtual. Any,
Correct. So we are, right now, still remaining virtual. I was supposed to have a trial starting today in district court. That trial is continued into January. I haven't heard directly from the chief judge as to what specifically he's looking for. One of our attorneys had a discussion with him regarding whether or not he has a particular metric that he's looking for, and there hasn't been, nothing firm has been discussed, other than he would like to see 2 weeks of lower levels of COVID positivity rate within the community before opening the court back up. Given the, frankly, quite high numbers that we had a week ago, even, I think that I can't say that at this point. I disagree. I would hate to put somebody in the community at risk.
so in reality, through cold and flu season, I mean, just thinking of reality, we're probably not gonna be back in session until April.
No, and I think
Would
that
that be a fair, I mean,
I think that that's fair. I think that the thing that could potentially change that information or that kind of way of thinking, to my mind, is the fact that, again, the county health department is doing a really good job of getting information to folks about the fact that 5 to 11-year-olds can be vaccinated. They've set up the clinic to get children vaccinated. And I think that with the schools having been opened back up and that kind of close contact, that the more kids that get vaccinated, the lower those numbers are going to be, and the better off we'll be as a community in general. So that's just my thought. But
There's as many people that got the vaccine that's getting it as there's not, so.
right. I mean, that's the other, and I think to address that point, Commissioner Stevenson, you're exactly right. I know that our county health department here can only do so much. I think that it's incumbent upon folks within the community to let people know, one, that there is availability if they wish to get the vaccine. I think people are very aware of that. And then the second part of that is that people that are hesitant to get the vaccine, or flat out not just hesitant, but absolutely don't want to at least provide information to them about efficacy rates for that, and about safety concerns that they might have. I think that that's the job within the community, of the leadership within the community. And I think that to a large extent we can do that. I don't know that we're going to change everybody's mind. I don't know that we're going to change anybody's mind, but I think making the information available to people is important.
so I didn't mean to derail that train.
Sorry.
It's way off track there, I apologize, but, I was just, just kind of seeing what you guys thought. I mean,
My thought
when
is,
it was closed, I kind of anticipated April anyway.
but see, so now Clarissa is a pessimist, and she's saying spring, but I think that legitimately,
spring.
That's what April is.
That is spring.
I
So,
think legitimately that we're going to be back into court in January. I think that's when I firmly expect that trial that got reset into January, that's going to go.
I certainly don't want to take sides between you and Clarissa, but are you familiar with Murphy's Law?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What is it?
And I mean, again, I get that Clarissa is generally right and is certainly the boss of me, and I really should just go along to get along. But January, dang it. But everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I get it.
And are you familiar with Cole's Law?
Yeah, it goes good with chicken.
Yeah, it's thinly sliced cabbage.
But
Yeah. But don't forget Occam's razor.
Okay, so I apologize. We'll look at April, and I pretty much would agree with Clarissa, and I didn't even have to talk to her.
The holidays are coming up, people are gonna be seeing their families and close proximity, and so I don't
So it's all,
the numbers
that's
keep
all good.
increasing.
How are we doing otherwise? I mean, are we getting our jobs done effectively, efficiently? No, I would
So,
say
to
probably not.
the
but-
extent that part of my job is to get cases to the public to try these cases, I mean, that's part of my job, and to the extent that that is a portion of my job, no, I mean, I'll just be direct with you guys. I cannot be effective in that. What I can be effective in is managing and prioritizing our caseload. I can be effective in being selective about how we set cases for trial and under what criteria we do so that we make sure that we are setting the cases that are most important to get in front of a jury, such that we have a good thought that that actually will occur. That I can do. I think everybody here knows I'd just rather be back in court.
Right. Well, we understand that. It's, I guess what I'm saying is we've done this for 2 years now, really.
Yep.
And there's,
They're trying to make progress. They're assessing every single situation and trying to come up with the best, most just outcome that is within their realm and ability to do so without having trials or them continuing to get continued. So they're doing the best that they can with the options they have.
We'll try
I
it.
guess that's kind of where I'm heading is,
Yeah.
what are the new options? What are they seeing? After a year and a half, we've learned a lot. So, I mean, I don't
So
see a
many
lot of
agreements.
new options
Yeah. So
that
many
are being
agreements.
handed out.
It's not so much that there's a new course of action available to us. It's setting the criteria by which we choose to offer rehabilitative sentences, let's say, in a particular case. Because we know that folks are more likely to accept a plea agreement that offers a rehabilitative option. Knowing when the case is deserving of Department of Correction times or jail time in the case of misdemeanors. And being firm with knowing that for specific actions there have to be consequences that match the demands that this community has for justice. And so we try to be sensitive to those issues. I think that the probation department has been helpful in my mind in putting together pre-sentence investigation reports that give us a clear picture about what they're recommending. I think that our judges have been as effective as they can be in managing the docket. I know that some of them are frustrated with the situation as it presently is. And they're trying to be as accommodating as they can. And I'd take a minute to just recognize and thank the people that are in the justice system, because they're doing really difficult work given where we're at as far as ability to get into court and try cases. Once that changes, obviously, we'll go right back to getting jury trials done as quickly and efficiently as we possibly can, which will be in January.
Maybe we could make a little pool, see who's right.
I'm in for 10.
I would never want to owe Clarissa anything other than a favor.
I guess that's the biggest thing is that we really push then on the backside of this to get them done as efficiently and as effective as possible. And
Right.
I think it's going to take a lot of effort on our part.
It's
because-
about strategic prioritization of the importance of these cases, and I think that our office has a very clear understanding of what cases are most important to go first. We are looking primarily at cases involving injury to others as our first tier of priority cases, with DV given kind of the A1 designation, as far as priority goes in those type of cases, and working on down through serious felonies, things of that nature, down to cases like DUI, because those affect community safety. And when it comes to other levels of prioritization, obviously I can get into that, but I don't want to necessarily state these are my categorical lists, just in case anybody out there is thinking about committing a property crime or something like that. So
Gotcha. Understand that. How's everything else going?
other than that, I can't thank my staff enough for the hard work that they've been putting in. We've had shutdowns, obviously, with the school system that have affected folks' ability to come in and actually be physically present in the office, but they are doing an absolutely wonderful job of getting assignments done while still having to deal with daycare situations and working from home and those kind of things. And that's on, frankly, the quality of the people that we have in that office, which is extremely high.
Okay. Anything to add?
He's absolutely right. On that part.
Like the caveat.
Okay, on that part, what about the other part? Now, what about the rest of the story?
No, I think, I mean, he is right. We have an amazing staff, and it seems like every couple of weeks we're having to change up how we're doing stuff. And the legal assistants will be working, getting jury trial notebooks ready and stuff, because there's a lot of preparation that goes into the jury trials, not just from the attorney standpoint, but the legal assistants are preparing evidence, and investigators preparing witnesses and travel arrangements and interviews and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of work from everybody in the office, and for us to just have to be like, okay, this is on hold now, and everybody halts. It can be frustrating and kind of like a defeat a little bit. Like, they've been putting their heart and souls into these cases as well, and we're not able to put it out there to the community. So we're trying to keep morale up. We feed them sugar and burritos every once in a while. So try to keep the morale up, and they do. We have an amazing staff right now, and they're doing a great job, and we appreciate them dearly. But yeah, we're just cruising otherwise and taking it day by day.
Okay.
So
Gentlemen?
we're low maintenance otherwise.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Hang in there and get them.
Yeah.
Get them.
Trying.
Yep.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, guys. Well, I think April 1st, you guys will be working 24/7.
We'll see.
Okay.
Wait a minute, if they have to, that just means that we have to, because we have to be available.
Well, Jim just fixed my phone, so, I mean.
Oh, so now you'll start getting emails.
Yeah.
He did.
That's exactly what it was.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So, Jim, do you want to come to the table?
I can.
And I need to, hang on, let me check something on YouTube. There we go. So, Jim asked for bids for internet connection for next year. They are below the threshold that has to go out for a sealed bid, and I think he just wanted to show them to you today. I'm not going to put them out there. I don't recommend saying any numbers out loud.
I just wanted you to see them for the sake of transparency more than anything. It's just one of these things we have to have, but if you have any questions on it, I want to be able to explain them.
And I'm going to try and share this so our attorney can see also.
So this looks like it's to every building in the county? Is that correct? Or that has?
That is correct.
Now, what'd you
I mean,
do?
the diagram
It
actually,
disappeared.
the diagram actually explains it much better. That way I gave you a picture. Remember the old picture books?
So what I'm seeing, you had two bids?
Essentially, we have, it's kind of like, so the city one and the fast track one, so actually we got kind of sort of through, like 2.5, right? So here's the thing, the city has their fiber in the ground, of which we're still part of anyway to a certain degree, because Sheriff's Office and Road Shop are still on city fiber.
So go to the picture, Shaq. Let me look at the picture and see if I can make sense of this.
All right, so what it is then the city also is an ISP as well. So they threw out a bid to me on giving us internet services. But I didn't want to go down that path because I wasn't comfortable. I want to have control over our network, because when things go wrong, it still comes down. I'm the ultimate guy that everybody's going to come to when it's not working, and I have to have control over that.
I agree with that.
Right, and not to mention it was a little more expensive even, sort of. So our current internet, even though we have it through one ISP, they get their bandwidth from Fast Track in Durango, right?
Right.
Okay, so I went out to Fast Track and I'm thinking, okay, let's just cut the middleman out of this. And I talked to Kelly and I'm like, what will you do for me? I'd like to just bypass everything and you become my provider. And that's what that quote is. Because we get all of our public IP addresses from them already. And if you'll remember last week when we had some issues because of DNS, when nothing was working for a whole day because of Brainstorm, Fast Track would become our primary public DNS server, and I would leave everything on secondary on Brainstorm. So we'd have a failover. So there's many, many reasons for doing that. But it's more than anything, it comes down to money. And the bottom line really is that we can save quite a bit of money over the year. So that's kind of where we're at. And the ring, the diagram. That's the other reason why it's really vitally important to me. So one of the things that having us run some of our own fiber south of town, as you all know, there's fiber that runs up 7th Street and then up Sligo and then over to 2210, right? So we've already got the connection made. I already had all this splicing done. So from here to Mesa School, it's already spliced from here to there. So what that does is it gives us this full ring on our fiber. So that would say, for example, Annex 1, let's say somebody goes out in the street and cuts the fiber. Because right now it goes to the colo, to the city colo. Now what will happen, the way I've got all this spliced, which is done now, then it would just automatically flow backwards and it would go to the Annex 3, which feeds into this building, which goes that way, which goes that way, and then comes back. So we get this ring. So you can cut.
For redundancy.
We get a lot more redundancy out of it.
So I kind of understand that drawing. So Shaq, you're going to have to scroll back up to the cost, which I know we're not looking at cost, but
There's this one, and then
okay, so hold on a minute. Let me
this
get the
one.
whole thing.
Each one of those connections, just so you know, the way fiber works, as you well know, is you get charged by the fiber mile. Mm-hmm. And that's 2 strands per fiber mile.
So I'm only seeing 2 different bids here. Is that correct or not?
2 different what?
2 different cost proposals here? Is that what you guys?
No, there's this one, there's,
Well, the city one is on another.
it's on
Yeah.
another document, which is right here.
All that summary there was just for me to show you what I'm suggesting.
Are you bringing me gifts?
Oh, that's buttons so people can get in the doors. Thank you.
So here's this one.
Right.
So, government options.
And there's another downside to the city being the ISP. That's a shared gigabit, which means we share it with all the other entities that are riding on the GovNet.
Right.
We go to our own with Fast Track, we have our own gig.
All of it.
Always, just
Not half.
ours. We don't share it with anybody.
So,
Sharing is caring, Jim.
Sharing.
so going back to the Fast Track one, Shaq, so that's,
What does, on your GovNet versus our own gig speeds, up and down speeds,
So, all I can tell you is before, when we were on GovNet, and our speeds were averaging, during the peak of the day, we'd probably get somewhere on average of about 250 to 300 down and about the same up.
yeah,
And on a full gig, you're basically going to get gig down, gig up,
okay,
because it's synchronous.
right.
Where is Fast Track out of?
Well, the Fast Track
You own
is,
part of Fast Track.
Empire owns part of Fast Track.
Fast Track serves the whole region.
Correct.
Right.
All of Region 9.
They're pretty much at what they call a transporter. That's their number one gig, is they actually are a transporter of bandwidth. So most of the ISPs get their bandwidth transported in from Fast Track. So you,
Yeah.
yeah, you end up using them anyway almost 60% of the time here.
So this is a full gig, up and down.
It's a
Yep.
full gig, synchronous.
So slide that down to the bottom, Shaq, so I can see the number. Oh, it's on the other page. Right, there.
That's what we're paying now,
Where are we paying?
28.15.
And then the one above is proposed.
Correct. Should be 429.68 difference.
Says that right down there at the bottom, huh?
And we do this annually?
Pardon me?
We do this annually? Is this an annual bid?
It's monthly.
Well, we don't bid it monthly. We pay the
No, no,
bill
no, we pay
monthly.
it monthly, but
This hasn't been bid in,
Oh, no, it hasn't been, as far as I know, it's never been bid. This is the first time I've actually ever had quotes put in because
So then, this is an annual cost?
this is a monthly
that
cost.
is a
Well, I
monthly.
understand that, but this is a monthly bid, what I guess I'm getting at.
It's
Correct.
an annual bid. Well, it's never been bid before.
Yeah.
You could
Right.
bid it as often
But
as
this is
annually.
going to be bid annually, or that's, so we're locked into that, I guess,
For the year.
for the year. Multiply it by 12, and it gives us our total number,
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
About 144,000,
Close.
a little less.
Smidge. Should be somewhere in the neighborhood of like about 32. Maybe a little, somewhere in there. I haven't actually added up for the year.
That's not right. 144 is not right.
Not even close.
Yeah.
48,
You know, unfortunately for us, we live in an area where there's just not a tremendous amount of choices. The
No.
city owns most of the fiber in town.
Yeah, supposedly it's coming, but, you know, you've got Magellan stirring around out there and Emory and
Yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up quite yet. I'm gonna guess maybe another 3 years before we see any significant movement forward.
Yeah.
Did I add wrong?
No.
That screen keeps moving up here. It's doing this and this and this and this, and I can't, so I'm doing my own math.
I think
They can't give you direction today.
Correct.
Well, no, I wasn't asking that at all. I just wanted you to.
We're looking at it to see what your bids
Yeah.
came back at.
Yeah, I just want you to see what I'm working on, and mostly for the sake of transparency, so everybody knows that this is what I'm thinking we should be doing, and
We're bidding out our,
because obviously this is November, and if I do, usually it's don't leave, there's a lot of work ahead on my end if I change. It sounds easy, but it's not. So, that be that. And then I think Ian wanted me here too.
go ahead, Ian.
Well, yeah, I had chatted with Jim last week. We still have the outstanding issues with the fiber and the agreement with the city, and then in addition to that, putting out the fiber for bid now for the management part of the deal. I think Jim was wanting to. Well, Jim, just go ahead and maybe just give your suggestion to the commissioners. I mean, basically, Jim was wanting to propose that a certain amount of fiber be given to 2210, a certain amount of the county's fiber be given to 2210 in exchange for, or as a result of some of the work that they did with the fiber huts and such.
For the contributions made, is how I actually worded it. I just thought it would be, obviously you guys can do what you want. I'm just making a suggestion that, they put a lot of money into that. Nobody promised nobody anything. That's not it at all. I'm just saying that it seems like only the right thing to do. We got plenty of fiber that we give them, some fiber in exchange for the contributions they made. Plus, they're also they're offering to not charge us any colo fees over there, because no matter what I do, we're still gonna have to connect there somewhere, somehow, for something, and it just reduces that. So that was just my suggestion.
And what I explained to Jim is, I mean, certainly we're under no legal obligation to do that. That's something that you guys can do if you want to do, but there was no legal arrangement made, no legal obligation for you. So really, in essence, if you decide to do this, it's akin to giving 2210 a gift.
So what are you recommending?
Well,
I guess-
I'm going to recommend that the county do 72 and the city do 72. That's gonna be what I'm gonna suggest. Because I think.
The 144.
144 in total, because the city, they get the same out of this that we do, really. I mean, they're getting the same use, they're getting the same place at 2210. It only seems right, but I can't speak for the city. All I can do is suggest it to them. And then that'll be entirely up to them.
Jim, how much is fiber worth? I mean, when we talk about 72 strands of fiber, what kind of, I mean, is it possible to put some kind of a monetary value on that?
Well, it sort of is, especially if you look at this bid, right, because of what the city charges. But understand that there's a difference between dark fiber leasing and then, so a provider, for example, might come in and build a pond system, and let's say they're going to feed 30, they have a 1x32 split, and they're going to feed 32 people up a one strand of fiber. They're only going to pay a $72 per month, I'm going by the city's rate, $72 per month per strand per fiber mile. That's pretty much what the city charges for fiber, for dark fiber. And you don't always lease out dark fiber. It's very rare.
Okay, what else?
That's it.
Okay, so that's just a recommendation, and if I have this correctly, you're recommending a split by the city and the county of 50-50 for 72-72 to equal the total of 144,
Yes, sir.
and that would then be, that's just a recommendation to 2210.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When do you need a decision on that? Because obviously today is not that day.
Yeah, you know, I can't say that we actually have to have it.
We have the fiber agreement under unfinished business tomorrow. I've got the hard copies with the city signature. We could do it tomorrow if you're
And
ready.
the city did sign that.
Well, the
Correct,
city's
I've got
signing
theirs.
theirs tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
No,
They
yes,
signed
They
last
signed
night.
it. Oh,
They
they
just,
signed
they
it
signed it
last
last
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
right,
We were gonna sign ours too, but
right. And then, but what you have in the unfinished is also the RFP that I wrote up to get out for the management of said network once the city and the county signs their MOU, their agreement. Because we need to kind of move that along too, and that was, both Ian and I went over the RFP again to make sure, and he fixed a couple of other things he found, and I think we sent you that copy too.
Yeah, we got that from Ian, the one that Mike Green had sent to you that we got.
No,
I think
no.
it's-
Jim-
it
That's
was
the contract.
Oh, yeah.
that's the fiber agreement. That's a separate document. The RFP,
Oh, yeah,
I emailed that out to Shaq. I did not email that to you guys. Do you guys have a copy of that? If not, I will send it right now.
Why don't you go ahead and
I'm
send it?
pretty sure we have.
I'll just go ahead and send it right now.
So yeah, the RFP is for the management side of things, because according to the agreement that you were going to, it looks like, sign with the city is responsible for maintenance, we're responsible for the management of the network, and we already all agreed, we didn't want to manage it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're dealing with, I guess, digitally handicapped guys, you know,
Unless you want to give me some more stuff, and then I'll be more than happy to manage it,
we'll take it one step at a time. A little tenuous at times.
right? Digitally handicapped, I'm liking that one. I was going to go for
Can't
electronically
get a parking
tapped.
permit with that, but you're digitally handicapped.
Technically challenged.
Same thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Anything else? Do you guys have anything to do?
No, I don't.
And then Commissioners Ernie Maness, as I told you earlier, is out and will not present today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So that scratches an agenda item for tomorrow as well.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And I realize that we have under unfinished business tomorrow, we have the conversation of the holidays. But
Mhm.
do you guys want to have any other discussion about that today, or you want to just leave it?
I sent you that. Did you see that?
Oh, no, not yet. I don't have it yet.
Oh, it didn't go out. For some reason, it wouldn't go out. I don't know why. Let me bring it back up. Let me look at it off my screen.
I got it.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to leave it.
Well, you guys only got 8 days, huh?
Uh-huh. The New Year's is totally
They just didn't put 2023 down there.
Okay, well, try to get that back to me again so that I can look at it
Okay.
also, but, Then we'll just leave it for discussion tomorrow, if you guys don't want to discuss it today.
I like this in here, actually.
The EEAs.
Mm-hmm. So I actually think that employees in Montezuma County would rather have the days at Thanksgiving and Christmas rather than national holidays. That's just me speaking as a family person and stuff, but
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll get that to me then. Okay.
I sent it again, I don't know.
Well, it'll come, maybe it's at my PC, then I can type it out. All right, well, I guess, gosh, that was short and sweet. If we don't, you guys don't have anything else, then
I don't.
Jack?
we'll do it.